You guys know who the Act Man is. Ladies and gentlemen, we did it. We got the good ending. It's been one of the biggest YouTube news stories over the last month or two, and we finally got a major update to the story, and I'm happy to say it's actually really good news. So yesterday, the Act Man tweeted out a picture and also put up a new YouTube video basically saying that he had reapplied to the YouTube partnership program and he was reinstated. I'm taking a look at my analytics, and only 2% of the people watching this video right now are actually subscribed to the channel. Consider subscribing. It's free and you can always change your mind later. So that means he has his YouTube channel completely remonetized. This is great news for the Act Man. If you don't know, a little catch up on the story, there was huge drama between the Act Man and Quantum TV, where the Quantum TV guy pretty much makes TV reviews or something, and for some reason he made a Elden Ring video pretty much dogging on the game and saying that he didn't like it, and it was just a bad take. So a bunch of smaller YouTube channels re-uploaded parts of the review and pretty much said why it was a bad opinion, and so Quantum TV false copyright claimed him, and that's when the Act Man got involved. The Act Man pretty much made a whole video talking about why it was bad, and then he followed up on almost like a creator crusade. Now, if you didn't remember, a couple years back, there was a huge part of YouTube that was pretty much just going after creators, like the iDubbbz people with content cops, that kind of thing. And this is one of the biggest kind of content cop things I've seen in a while. The Act Man made a whole hour-long video pretty much showing all these things while the Quantum TV guy was actually unhinged. And what happened to him? He got his YouTube partnership pretty much canceled for doing that, and so that meant he lost his complete monetization from his 1.5 million subscriber YouTube channel, which he was pretty much lost his job. As far as I know, the Act Man does YouTube completely full time, and he was just kicked out of the monetization program with pretty much no warning. And one of the reasons this was such a big story is obviously because you're supposed to have a 3-strike system, and the Act Man only had 1 strike, and he got his complete monetization removed. And so of course it was a really big deal on YouTube for a couple months, and then he finally reapplied this month and he was reinstated. Now this is really good news because I felt for the guy. He uploaded 1 or 2 videos since he got demonetized, but I can't blame him. He pretty much said that he didn't feel motivated, and why would you? Can you imagine going from making a few $1,000s a month every month on your YouTube videos to nothing? And it's different for me. I don't make a cent right now from my YouTube videos, and that's fine because I still enjoy making them regardless, but I spend maybe an hour or 2 a day on these YouTube videos, whereas the Act Man probably spends upwards of 10 hours a day sometimes when he's working on a major video. He does a lot more research, and he does a lot more gameplay, and he puts a lot of effort into the video. So yeah, imagine trying to put 10 hours into making a YouTube video just so you're not going to get paid for it. And I just hope he has a good recovery on his YouTube channel now that he has monetization back and he's more in good terms. And the reason he got his monetization lost was actually ridiculous. So of course he made that review, and that was the initial problem. And then since it was taken down from YouTube, he tweeted out a bunch of joke pictures pretty much saying oh, I can't wait to dox YouTube members because, and he was making a joke. Anyone with a brain, anyone with an IQ over 15 knew it was obviously a satirical joke, and he didn't actually want to dox YouTube people. And yeah, honestly, that was faulty on him, but I can't blame him. During the situation, apparently, the Act Man's family was contacted by either the Quantum TV or a troll that agreed with Quantum TV. And, when your family gets involved, it's hard to not be emotional. And when you're emotional, like the Act Man was, he was obviously going to make a mistake. And that was a mistake, even if it was just a joke. And anyone, looking at it obviously knew it was a joke. It was very obvious that he was making a joke, but YouTube still took away all of his monetization just for making a silly joke on Twitter. And you know what? Quantum TV is still on the platform. And that's one of the things I don't understand about the YouTube guideline system, because a lot of these platforms now say that you can be punished for doing stuff off platform, which I kind of agree to an extent. You know, if you're doing wrong stuff on Twitter, you should, maybe it's not a good idea to be on YouTube. But the thing is, they removed monetization from the Ackman's channel for making some dumb tweet on Twitter, whereas in Quantum TV has, these really disgusting messages on Discord, and he still has his channel and probably full monetization as far as I know. He's the same guy. If you didn't know some of the disgusting things he's done, obviously the copyright abuse is wrong and shouldn't be taken. I don't know, YouTube's kind of just letting it happen for some reason, but he's also said a lot of disgusting things about the LGBTQ community, saying like, regardless of what your thoughts on YouTube protecting protected groups, like them, I think we can all agree that him saying there should be more Pulse nightclub shooting victims where someone went in the United States and shot up a gay bar, because they didn't like gay people, and him saying there should have been more victims is absolutely disgusting, and it shouldn't be tolerated on YouTube. And I really don't understand why the Ackman was removed from the partner program, but it doesn't look like the Quantum TV thing. All he pretty much did was say that the screenshots were fake, and I don't believe it, because there's plenty of evidence that says, he was being malicious about it, and it's just super unfortunate that this had to happen in the first place. Now, obviously, it's a good thing that YouTube decided to put back in place the Ackman's monetization, but I don't think it should have happened in the first place. I think it really scares creators, especially people that are doing this kind of work full time. If you're making content online for a living, and it's just the report systems on every social platform are terrible. And I think it's especially bad for YouTube because, at least on Twitter and TikTok and Instagram, you have a little leeway, and, you'll have opportunities to take stuff down that the platform says they don't like. But on YouTube, you're supposed to get 3 strikes, and, 3 strikes and you'll be out of the monetization program, and you'll pretty much be fired. But on this one, the Ackman made one quote-unquote mistake. He made a joke on Twitter, and they started going through his channel and demonetizing crap and community guideline striking videos, and he was pretty much removed on strike 1, which I completely disagree with. And it's scary because a lot of these creators, they rely on YouTube income and that kind of they rely on YouTube income. And so, being out in 3 strikes is bad, but imagine being the Ackman and making one little joke tweet on Twitter, and then you're pretty much fired from your job, and that's another thing. This is a very unreliable kind of job. So if I ever wanted to do something like this full time, I'd obviously have to pivot, where you make your money. And that's the thing. The Ackman was obviously making enough money off YouTube, but the problem was he didn't really set up any other sources of income. So now that he knows that his monetization from YouTube can pretty much just be stripped at, the toss of a pencil, he should build other things, maybe like a Patreon where he uploads exclusive videos or that kind of thing, maybe like more merch or something. But yeah, it just sucks that this had to happen. But you know what? We got the good ending so that's all that really matters. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.